Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kanishka Ramchandani, the consulting editor of Professional Beauty India, and I welcome you all to Salon Management Congress 2022. It gives me immense pleasure to stand here today and see you all in person and interact with you without the hindrance of poor network. We at Professional Beauty have always endeavored to be of service to India's salon and beauty industry with both our online and offline activities. Be it technical training sessions or exhibitions and networking events, we have kept the industry updated and connected. We use the various formats available to us, which includes our exhibitions, social media, website, and our magazine, Professional Beauty Hairdressers Journal. Through the difficult months of the lockdown to the hopeful phase after it was lifted, to finally the present day of successful restoration of the salon business, Professional Beauty has always been on your side. I thank you all for coming here today to join us as we achieve yet another milestone with this new edition of the Salon Management Congress. Without further ado, I would like to request Mr. Vikas Vij, the Managing Director of Professional Beauty India, to open the day's proceedings and start the first session of Salon Management Congress 2022. Let me give you a little bit information about him. After gaining extensive experience in producing high quality international conferences across Europe, the Middle East and India, and spearheading major industry events such as Gaming Executive Summit Europe, Vikas Vij, the Managing Director of IDEX, introduced professional beauty to India for the first time in 2012. Working in partnership with Mark Maloney, founder of the Professional Beauty Global Group, Vikas brought international titles such as the Salon International Show, Hairdressers Journal magazine, and the Aesthetic Medicine magazine and show to India. Considering the need of the Indian market, he curated the concept of Salon Management Congress. Under his guidance, Professional Beauty India is today celebrating its 10th anniversary and has grown to be the largest trade show in South Asia, attracting over 40,000 visitors each year across India to interact with over 500 global and domestic brands. I welcome Vikas on stage. Over to you, Vikas. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanishka. Thank you, everyone, for braving the rain and managing to get in here. First time I felt cold in Mumbai, I think, ever. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Salon Management Congress, or SMC as it's more popularly known. A bit about the rain, actually, because I like crying about the rain, but then someone reminded me at every one of your shows you've pretty much done in 10 years, it always rained. No matter if it's December, April, May, June, July, September, it always rains in every city you've been to. So we've all, after a while, after many hours of crying in the past, I take the rain as a sign of like God wishing us well. My name's Vikas Vij, Managing Director of Professional Beauty India. It's been a privilege of mine to have run this role for the last 10 years as we've journeyed from our first small show in Greater Noida in 2012, where even Blossom Man was there in the first show, to the largest show in the country today in terms of brand and visitor numbers. Alongside the show, we've also brought over the Professional Beauty and Hairdressers Journal magazines, which are two iconic global magazines for the therapist, makeup and hairdresser communities. If you've not got a copy, they're at the reception, when you enter. So do pick up a copy of that. Another new initiative we're launching later this year, which you'll see marketed across the show, is Cohort. It's a new recruitment platform for our industry. It's something we've been working on for the last 1 year. It will be a simple to use app and website, allowing salon and spa owners and managers to find talent quickly and cheaply, and allowing therapists and hairdressers to find jobs simply and quickly. You'll be hearing more and more about that over the coming weeks as we get ready for our launch in November. Back to the SMC, which was created around 6 years ago and is a core part of our professional beauty exhibitions, where we bring together brands and the salon and spa community for intimate conversations around the evolving challenges and opportunities that exist in the salon space. As many of you in the room know, running a salon business is no easy job. From the outside, it all looks like glamour and jazz, like being in the hospitality business. But for those in the inside, especially the salon owners and directors, it really can be a tough industry to work in. Sometimes more cutthroat than needed. Hence our reason for creating the SMC, where we bring owners and their senior team who have been there, done that, and survived to tell the tales, their scare stories, and to share their experiences with the rest of the community so we can all learn and grow from those stories. We have great speakers lined up today and tomorrow to further those conversations. And I'm delighted to be kickstarting the conference with three trailblazers who in their own unique way have defied all odds to build their businesses and reputations and are now enjoying overnight success after decades of pain and struggle. Welcome to our first session, where we have Dr. Blossom Kochhar, chairperson of Blossom Kochhar Group of Companies. Welcome, ma'am. We have C K Kumaravel, CEO and founder, Natural Salon and Spa. We have Seema Jerajani. Oh, Seema is coming. Seema Jerajani, founder and educator, SVJ Academy. Dr. Blossom Kochhar is the epitome of how we define trailblazer in our industry. She's devoted her entire life to skilling and educating people across the country in beauty, hair, and aromatherapy, stretching back to as early as the 1980s. Her career started in 1984 when she brought Pivot Point, an international education system, to India. This laid the foundation of skilling in the hair and beauty sector. And just a decade after she began, her ambition to make the beauty industry a respectable profession for youth and women began to take shape. As well as impacting tens of thousands of students with her initiative, she's well known for her incredible work, pioneering achievement in aromatherapy. A double doctorate in aromatherapy, she has grown her Aroma Magic brand into one of the leading companies in the industry, with over 200 SKUs across skincare, hair care, and makeup. I'm not sure how she packed it in, but she's an accolade list that will take the rest of this session to go through, so I'm going to skip that. Next, we have C K Kumaravel, or CK as he's most popularly known. CK is the CEO and co-founder of India's leading salon chain, Naturals, which he co-founded along with his wife, Veena. In the 2 decades they've been around, they have helped change the face of the salon industry, growing from a single store to 700 plus salons to date, and on course for 1,000 salons very soon, including global expansion of the brand. His long-term goal is to make Naturals the #1 salon chain in the world, and if anyone can do it from here, that is CK. Last but not least, we have Seema. Seema started off her career as an accountant before, thankfully for us, ending up in the hairdressing industry. And what a great transition it's been. Currently, she's the founder of SVJ Academy for hairstyling and makeup, but has been one of the pioneering, in India we call it the celeb hairdresser, but one of the top hairdressers in our community for a long time. With her LCGI degree from City and Guilds and teachers training in hairdressing and makeup from leading academies in the UK, she brings over 3 decades of experience as she personally teaches the professional hairstyling and makeup courses at SVJ Academy. She's authored Art of Indian Coiffures, an educational book on Indian hairstyling, where she has shared her experience and research covering hairstyles from 500 BC to today's contemporary looks. If any of you have not seen, let alone purchased this book, I'd strongly advise you to do so. And if you're lucky, you may be able to get a signed copy from Seema on her stand in the show. Seema's been a jury at the OMC Hair World Championship for Hair and Makeup in Paris. She's also the winner of the International Online Championship 2021 of the academic course by Georgie Cott, where there was participation from 68 countries, which is a huge achievement from, not just for Seema, but for us as Indian hairdressers. Seema's achieved the industry's most prestigious award, the Hall of Fame Hair Artist of the Year by Schwarzkopf Professional. And if there's one person in this industry who epitomizes the value and thirst for continual education and knowledge, no matter what stage of their career they're at, then that person is Seema. So thank you, Blossom Ma'am, CK, Seema, for joining us today. And let's get going on the session, which is called Trailblazers, Journeys of 1,000 Miles. As well as the audience we have here, we will be filming this and putting this content out there across our social media channels for a wider audience as well. We like to make it interactive, so if you do have questions that you want to ask the audience, feel free to ask. We're not here to lecture, you're not back to school. It's very much picking the brains of people who've been there, done that. So please feel free to ask questions. First off, on. Right, first off, we'll start with Blossom Man. Each of you has a long track record of success in this industry going back decades. First question is, what made you start in this industry? It's on, it's on.
Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. Firstly, I would like to say good morning to everyone and to you, and to congratulate you again for this wonderful, wonderful thing, and for the journey of yours that you've gone through, which is really, I've watched it grow and it's really growing. And I wish you all the best and may it grow more and more.
So the question was,
What-
what made you get started in this industry?
From the time I was growing up, I've always, from a little girl, I loved the industry because I always wanted to make people look beautiful. That was one of my main things. But as I really started, I really wanted to, when I started in this industry, what I decided was it has to be very holistic. Beauty has to be holistic. And that is how I started. So when I started in this industry, it was just to make their skin beautiful or their hair look very nice. It had to be a complete package of hair, beauty, makeup, the whole body, and it had to come from inside out and also make them feel good. And I found that when you do up their hair and other things, when they look good, they feel good. And a thing that really kept me going, of course, when I was studying in Canada, this was really we had this lady who, she used to pass by our school. And in the school where when we used to study in Canada, we used to be doing live clients. We used to study and do live clients. So what happened is this lady, we'll try to get her into the thing, but she wouldn't come in. She was so busy walking around, and we thought she really needed hair and makeup and other things, but she wouldn't come in. But one day she walked in and we said, wow. And so we took her out and we did her hair, I did her skin, we did her, made her feel good, gave her tea, did a manicure, pedicure, and then she looked at herself and walked out. After 1 hour, she came back to us with a big bouquet of flowers. And she said, you know something, you all saved my life. I was on the way to commit suicide. I had lost my job. I had lost my children. I had lost everything, in fact. She said her husband won the case and took the children away. She had no job. She said, I just had nothing in my life. But when I walked in here, and I said to myself, let me see how I look. They kept on asking me how I look. And she said, as I walked out and went down the road, there was a vacancy for, written. I went in, I got the job.
Oh, wow.
She said, after a little while, my children called me and she said, it was you all that saved my life, I feel. You made me feel so good. You treated me so well. So that is one of the reasons that I am here today. And really, this is what has made me go on, because this makes a person feel good. When you look good, you feel good. And naturally, this is the most wonderful profession I feel to be in. And I think this is what started me off. Yeah, so that's how it is.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story. And I think sometimes we forget that actually what hairdressers, what beauticians do, we kind of think some of it can be superficial because it's about just the looks. But actually, it can make such a profound, that's a story that is a profound impact on someone. And, and I think it is great what our profession, where you can really impact people at that level. I'm going to, CK, sir, what made you get started?
Yeah, first, happy morning to all the friends from the salon industry. Very close to my heart, and congratulations to Which for putting together for the 10th year in succession. I think for somebody who is from outside the salon industry to come in and do such a fine work and putting the team together, I think you and your team deserves a huge round of applause. My hearty congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Second is sitting beside Blossom ma'am and Seema is such a privilege. I remember way back in the early stages, we used to, at those times there is no photograph, only autograph. So we were from that side, we have all come like that. Coming to naturals, it's my wife Veena's refusal to continue as a housewife was the beginning of the brand Naturals. Veena could have easily stayed home and glorified herself as a homemaker, or she could have sought a job. She was very particular. She said, I want to become an entrepreneur. So we were searching for what to do, and that's how the journey began. Irritation is the biggest source of energy. If you are irritated about something, look them over very carefully. There is an opportunity. We were irritated about a lack of a good quality, affordable salon. I'm talking about late 90s and early 2000. So we thought there was a need for that. And that's how we started looking at salon industry. One of the biggest advantage we had is we are not from this industry. So we did not know the rules of this industry. Anyone who is from the industry cannot disrupt the industry. Person who is from outside only can disrupt the industry. For example, a Steve Jobs salon can disrupt the phone industry, a mobile phone. Yeah, Elon Musk only can disrupt the car industry. And Mahendra Singh Dhoni only can disrupt the cricket. I think if you keep on looking at various people, it is only from people outside can come and play without any fear, without any rules, without any, this thing. I think that is what has really helped us. And that's what has really taken us forward in life. And but we kept on learning at every point of time. What is important is, first is that big picture we should have. And second is the willingness to go to the ground and really learn every step of the way. A lot of people think that they have arrived in life. I don't think anyone has arrived in life. We all have to be a student called in the life student continuously. Only then we can make it up in life. So I think that is one of the very, very important thing which has made us think from a person who doesn't know, we don't know any contact. We did not know any skills of the industry. We did not have money. If I have to list 10 reasons, I will give 10 reasons why naturals will not be successful. But if I have to say one reason why naturals will be successful, it is a burning desire to win internalized. And that's the difference. Any entrepreneur who wants to win should have that burning desire to win internalized. If that is there, he or she can win for sure. Entrepreneurship is your ability to go from one failure to another without losing enthusiasm. That is what we should have. We should have that enthusiasm to go from one failure. Failure is failure only when you refuse to learn. If you refuse, if you learn from failure, then it is part of success. And that's how we looked at uh, the journey, and that is how we continued that. I always used to say there are 6 stakeholders in any business. First is the customer, second is the employees, third is the vendors, fourth is the financial institutions, fifth is the government agencies, the regulators, and sixth is the what is the investor, the partner. Not only the 6 stakeholders are important, even the order is important. For a long time, I used to take care of the first stakeholders and not take care of the third. And then I used to take the one, two, three, and leave the fourth, only to realize you have to balance. Business is about balancing all the 6 stakeholders. And today, when seventh stakeholder, Corona, has come and told us, boss, take care of the earth, only then you can all do the business. And I think that is a great reminder for us. I think not only we should be happy, we should also keep the earth happy. Only then we can continue.
Yeah, and I think great point about this whole failure thing because, and the reason we have you, a lot of people will say, okay, there's Blossom Man, there's CK, there's Seema, and successful in their own kind of bits that you're in. And it's easy to look from the outside and go, it's easy for them because, they're there and they've achieved it. But, we want to, in a bit, talk about those decades of pain and struggle, that the decades of pain and struggle and failures you had to go to achieve overnight success. So, Seema, you talk about how you got started in this industry.
Thank you, Vikas. Congratulations on your 10th anniversary. It's a great
Thank you.
achievement in the industry here that we've got professional beauty happening since the last 10 years. So, good morning to everybody. Good morning to the audience. So really, how I started was I was not interested in hair and makeup. My mom thought that I should be ladylike.
In the airline industry.
Yeah, she thought that as a girl, I can't just jump the walls and go to the playground and play football.
Yeah.
So she felt that you need grooming. She said, you're 17 now, and it's time that you learn to groom yourself, learn a little bit of makeup and comb your hair. She's pretty disappointed till date. I don't like to do makeup or do my hair. So, but that's how I got started. She sent me to Shanaz Hussain School, because that was the top school
Yes.
in the 80s,
Yeah.
which is when I started. And it was like a compulsion for me, but I liked it. And it was interesting because at that time we only had like BCom, BSc, and BA. You see, really no options of a career. And I'm a very creative person. So it got started like that, and I realized that my passion was in hair. Basically, I found that hair far more interesting than beauty because it gives me that creativity. It's an expression. Also, in those times, what was there was we didn't have dummies or mannequins to work with. So you had to take a live person every day at the academy and do a haircut or color and things like that, which was fantastic because it's so boring to do it on a dummy. So it started off like that, and since then I've been studying and studying. You know that. So the journey has been interesting in the way that we didn't have access to Instagram, or we never used to take photographs. Even if you've met, you don't have photographs of what happened then 30 years back, or well, 39th year now this year for me. So to make your name or something, you had to be really very good. I was very fortunate to have Rita Spratt as my trainer, who was qualified from Morris and Vidal Sassoon at that time, and doing a live model every day. And then later I started teaching at her academy. Now, to get a good teacher, quality teacher who has that knowledge was enough to make me known to people, because the kind of haircuts I did, precision haircutting in the 80s, was very unheard of over here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the clients would come from literally all over the city and all over the country to have their haircuts done from me. And even from abroad, like they would say, even once in 2 years, Seema, if you give us a haircut, our hair would still stay the way it is, that kind. And I continued my studies. And at that time, um, well, I had started out from home. For many years, I used to work from home. And I decided to study further because I found that it's so important that we have education. It's not like today that you have YouTube or something, you had to kind of save money. It would take me 2 years of savings to study for 1 week in London. And that way I started my journey that every 2 years I would study 1 week in London because Vidal Sassoon costs so much, So you're talking about now it's so easy. I find that anybody wants, they can go to Vidal Sassoon. You've got access of videos. It wasn't so simple then. It was like a slow process of learning and earning and saving and kind of moving to the next level. And every few years I would learn one more subject. Like I did the hair, I did aromatherapy, I did skin things also. So the whole process was a slow. Like today people want something which is like instant, that you did a course and you're out and you're an expert. So this is built up over, as I said, 39 years nearly. And I've been studying ever since. And I think the secret of my success, I know that it's basically the education. I've stayed ahead of everybody in the country, so much so that I understand that Blossom sent me a person to tutor for the World Championship. I just did a training for the participant who was going for World Championship and representing India at World Skills. So she was lately with me for training. So it's very important that we continuously study, which is not happening. I'm seeing that in the youngsters, they feel they've done a course, they've done one or two extra, workshops, and they feel they know everything so much so that the attitude is such that I sometimes wonder, I mean, do I know enough? Because I still can't put on that kind of an attitude today. And I'm still doing about 3 courses. I'm still studying. So I always think there's so much more to learn. And the generation today believes that, yeah, we can do this and this and this. And I wonder sometimes. But the success and continued success is what's important. Some people have success and then it drops. So that's not how it is. When we talk about success, we have our highs and lows, but the graph since decades has been only upward. And to achieve that, my story is education, continued education.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was only reminded when Seema was talking is about there is no competition on the extra mile. I think that's exactly what she is doing. Hearty congratulations.
Yeah, and I think we're going to do a few more questions, but the point you get there, we have trailblaze. Success is your individual, so it's up to you how you define success. So we have someone like CK, that's the largest salon chain in the country. For him, that's success. We've got Dr. Blossom, who's now the face of aromatherapy in India, but also one of the icons who helped create the hairdressing industry. That's success for her. Not that that's what she wanted. She was looking at when she started. And you have Seema, who epitomizes education. For her, success is continual learning, continual development, and being at the top of her game when it comes to learning and teaching. So while we know her as an educator today, she's done that journey of being a hairdresser, working with stars, working with, whoever you can name it. She's been through that journey and said, right, I've done that chapter. I'll close my salon and focus on teaching and education and giving back. So it's very much your own personal journey, which you have to look at when you want to see what is success. The next point, and a great point which Seema says, which I think we lack in India, and it's becoming tougher, is this whole concept of education. Because when you talk to any of our iconic hairdressers, a Savio, an Aduna, a Blossomam, Seema, Samantha, all of them will say they went to a top school, generally London, not for 1 week or 2 weeks, but they would have spent years learning how to do their art. and then they would have set up as an independent. They didn't do a 1 week course and then become an educator or open a salon. They learned, they spent years like studying at university or college, learning how to be an engineer. They treated hairdressing and beauty in the same way.
Yeah, that's so true. That's true. We have to, I feel education is the most important for this. And for everyone, growing up, you have to learn education and going right through. And once you reach the top, if you stop educating yourself, like she was saying, you are going to just start going down. You have to keep on educating. This is the most important thing. Because, and especially in our trade, because what happens is it's always changing. Your hairstyles are changing, your makeup is changing, your figures are changing, your styles are changing. So you have to keep up. And the only way to keep up, I think, is education,
Yeah.
which is the most important.
Um,
And apart from that, I like this business, this that you've done, because it is not just the technical that we have to. We have to also go into business
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we have to educate. This is one thing I have found with a lot of our hair designers, and especially during the COVID time, when they when they were just only concentrating on technical, you will find technical is just there, and but what is the main thing that's going to take you and make you a success is business. So you have to also balance by educating yourself in business. And this is important. And I really like this conference for that.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you.
Yeah, that's another great point. Before we move to CK, a lot of hairdressers traditionally, especially in Western markets, you'll know that a salon owner is generally a hairdresser or beautician that decides to run their own business. And that's running a business is very different to being a staff member. You end up with a lot more challenges and headaches. Hence, we bring this kind of content for you to learn from others, that just because you're good, you have a client list as a hairdresser or beautician, doesn't automatically guarantee you success as a salon owner. It's a very different game, a lot more challenges, a lot more headaches. I know from when I started this business, if I'd have known today that half my time was managing staff, I may not have started the business because I don't enjoy that side of the business. It's a real headache for me. So luckily I find good people to manage my staff because I'm more of a creative person. Question CK first. Because again, you're up there with naturals, and a lot of people in the room and listening live will be like, we could never do that. They're so successful. Every year we talk to CK, one day it's 300, next day it's 400, 500. Now it's like, I need 1,000, I want to hit 5. So that's scary for ordinary people. That's very scary. But it wouldn't have been easy. So we know why you got started, but there were many challenges, many opportunities to quit as well and give up and do something easier. What made you continue? What made you and Veena continue?
Nice. So, one of my thought process is if you want to be successful in life and business, be unreasonable. Be unreasonable. A reasonable man adopts himself to the world. An unreasonable man makes the world adopt to him. So all the progress in this world is made by unreasonable people. So I am an unreasonable person. So when I opened my first salon, I used to look at Lakme at 1:30. I used to marvel at that brand. So that's how the journey began. Rain fills the size of the vessel you carry. Keep a spoon outside, rain will fill a spoon. A tumbler outside, a bucket outside, a river outside, a ocean outside. What is the size of your dream? Do you want to make lakh of rupees a month? Do you want to run 10 salons? Do you want to be the best in Bombay? Do you want to be the number one in India? Or do you want to leave a mark in this world? What is the size of your dream? It takes as much time and energy to lead an ordinary life as it takes to lead an extraordinary life. Might as well lead an extraordinary life. There's a beautiful scene in the movie called Pursuit of Happiness. In that, the father, Will Smith, will get a basketball gift to his son. Next day morning, the father and the son will get into the basketball court. This young kid will dribble and try to shoot the ball. The ball will not get into the basket. The father will scream, "Hey boy, you can't shoot, you need to grow, don't try." And he will try to walk out of the court. This young kid will continue to dribble. This time he will throw the ball will get into the basket. The father will come into the court and put his arm around the shoulder and tell this little boy, just because the world thinks they cannot, they will tell you you cannot. If you have a dream, go ahead and shoot it. And that's what exactly has happened.
Dream and passion.
And then, what did you have to overcome to keep the journey going?
Overcome to keep the journey going. Yeah, everything. In fact, when I started, there, and I was into this line, the hair was not even known over here. Those who knew how to cut hair were able to cut the hair, and those who knew how to, make a cosmetic were able to, because the only cosmetics that were there were Charmis and Pond's, and I definitely couldn't give a facial with that, because I used to do facials and hair together. So what I did is, that's how I got into aromatherapy. I started making my product individually for the client, and I started learning essential oils, because India is the main hub of essential oils. Actually, we supply it all over the world, and so that's how I did it, because it's part of Ayurveda and the Rasayana Tantra. That's the Veda of rejuvenation. Actually, that's what aromatherapy is all about. And so I learned this, and I used it in my cosmetics, and I found the people were very, really like that. And they used to say, my cold has gone, I'm feeling good. So I said, wow. And so I went into the Ayurvedic, this of learning the whole thing, and went all over the world with it. That was one. The other part was the hair. And so I found that the only people at that time who used to cut hair very well were Chinese. They were all over. And so I said, but there has to be something. So when I had gone abroad and I studied, and that's how I met Pivot Point, the president, and I found Pivot Point was the most fantastic system where they had a language and they could teach. So I brought that back to India, and I'm really happy to say we have thousands now who are following Pivot Point, and I'm really very, very happy about that. So that was that was really a challenge for me,
Yeah.
to make the systems that I learned there possible in India for them to learn, because they had no time, they had to think, we had to cater it to the people. And people who used to come to study were only housewives, so we had to cater it to 2 hours and 2 hours. And from there, we found youngsters coming in, and then we found the men taking it up, and everyone else. And now I know it is a business. It is a business. That is how it is done.
Seema, the struggles, I'm sure you would have had one or two struggles to overcome.
All of us have been through struggles. First of all, in the 80s, when I started with beauty and then hair, people used to call me Hajam, that's the name you're known by. I mean, Hajamat karti hai. And then I used to have these 80s millets and, those kind of haircuts. And they used to say, chakli no maro जैसे हिंदी में बोलते थे, वो जैसे वो बर्ड्स का नेस्ट होता है ना, वैसे हंसिड़िया का घोंसला करके आती है. फिर मैं 80s में पिंक और पर्पल हेयर भी करती थी, तभी भी करती थी, अभी भी करती हूँ. पहले ब्लीच करना पड़ता था, अभी ग्रेस है तो बहुत इजी हो गया. So लोग एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर सकते थे. I don't know if it was because I was a rebel, perhaps. I could have only done it that way. That's what I think when I look back. Because I think everybody has a rebellion in them. and then you want to do something extraordinary, like you said, or you want to do something different, not what everybody else is doing, which is what got me into avant-garde hair 25 years back, where people could not even understand or knew the term avant-garde hair or makeup. So it's about acceptance. So, in the society, with the family, like I would comb my hair, set my hair before going out, and my father would tell me, Seema, go comb your hair. I would say, Papa, it took me 20 minutes to do this hair. And they wouldn't understand that that was hair done. Like I would probably have, perming was in, so I would have like crazy hairstyles. So, so it was the acceptance initially in the society, and then, of course, uh, family and everybody couldn't understand why I want to keep studying this. Already have got a degree in hair, so now why do you want to study? So things like that at a personal level, because as you know, mine is not a business or anything. I'm an educator, so it was my personal journey. So it was acceptance by the family, by friends, by parents, because I never had time on a weekend. Because salons, we only have time on a Monday. So your family life, your friends, and everything is like takes a backseat. Also, to be different is very challenging because I wanted to do things differently, like in avant-garde, as I said. So I would have to get my own photographer, hire a model, and offer these images to the magazines. And they'd wonder, why can't you do curly and straight hair? I said, I'm not interested in giving just curls or blow dried hair. I want to do different. I want to be different. So I would have to arrange all the shoots and everything and then offer the pictures, and then still people would think, no, 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 just give us some plain, ordinary thing. So to get, magazines like Hair and all of them to accept that there is something far beyond the normal images that they've been printing, because you have to have that craziness in you to go on. It's like I'm putting up a show today because Vikas, I told him, Vikas, I'll do a bridal show. Vikas is laughing. He says, you can't be doing a bridal show. I have a show at 4 o'clock, which is avant-garde. It's if you have that craziness, if you have that in you to be different and to go on, you have to give a vent to it. And I've thanked Vikas every time, like I've been able to project and done a show for Salon India and for PB. It's given my creativity such a beautiful expression. And I want to show by educating that there is far more than what the normal education in hair is. One should try to reach whatever your dreams and pursue it. It's not always a smooth sailing, but not to give up. Like, I wanted to write a book. That's the book I've authored. Most difficult time was with my this project.
Yeah.
Where I
How-
actually learned photography.
Has anyone seen? How many of you have got the book? Or book? Have you seen the book yet? You have. If you haven't seen the book, I think Seema stands over there. She's at the back. Watch it, because modest. Seema is a modest person, but she 1 year out as an educator, 1 year off work. She learned photography, traveled the country with her backpack, going to temples around the country. No one in this country's done that. But what you'll see now, you will see other corporate institutions doing these innovations, but having copied what Seema took a year of struggle to put together. So that is someone who is, we all talk about crazy. You've got to be crazy. It's a level of craziness as a hairdresser, as an educator, to do something that no one's ever done before, when there may not be any reward for it either, right? So if you haven't seen it, go check out the book. It's stunning. And I'll let Seema talk about it.
So yeah, so you have to have that craziness, you have to have that passion. You gotta, like, whatever happens, I want to do this, and I want to spread education, and this is my contribution to the industry, and this is what I want to do for it. The response is irrelevant at this point of time because I know what I can do. I don't know whether somebody else will just stop their profession and get on, because the aim is to spread education.
So, anyone have any questions they want to ask? You have mics, bro. Basically, who's crazy enough to ask some questions?
Hello.
Hi.
My question is to Blossom ma'am. That's out of the curiosity. You did the double doctorate in aromatherapy. Normally, people stop after the first. What was that you keep going for the second?
Okay, thank you. After, what did he say? People stop after?
The
Why
first
did you?
one.
Why did you not stop at doing one doctorate in aromatherapy, but you did a second?
Why did I do 2 doctorates in aromatherapy? Not only that, I did a postgraduate, then I did a doctorate, and I did, so many things. Because I felt that, aromatherapy is not a simple subject. Aromatherapy is a real, it spans three decades, like 3 areas. It's Indian, that means the Ayurvedic aromatherapy. Then we have the Chinese aromatherapy. Then we have the Western aromatherapy. And since if I want to be a number one, not just in India, but all over the world, I have to really study everything, okay? And another thing is, I, even till this age, I don't stop studying. And I'd like to tell you something that, of course, I did my Cambridge leadership when the COVID was there. And what is what is happening now and coming into the world is digital. Digital is something that is very, very big. And so I've done now my digital leadership because digital creative leadership, because if you don't do your digital and you don't get again right up there, it's going to be a little difficult. And so that is the other thing that I keep doing, because all these have to go together. And we all know that beauty is something that is so vast. I mean, look at all of you sitting here. You all are of different things. And we have to really put it together. And since we have to make it work, that's the whole thing. Thank you. Thank you for that question.
Hello.
You want to have a glimpse of it? Blossom has also written a book as well.
Good afternoon to all the trailblazers, and with sir, congratulations for your 10th anniversary today. I just have a question to CJ sir. You have more than 700 salons in the name of natural, right? So which part was the most difficult for you in your journey? Was it the first salon to be opened, or the next 10, or the next 100, or the next 500 salon? Which part was the most difficult? And just a follow-up question. That I'm sorry, I forgot the question. Which part was?
Okay, I will answer that. We
Yeah.
can ask it
Sure.
later. Actually, the first salon is not at all difficult. See, it is a survival. So I have to be successful in that. So I put all the energy, became one watchman, became the valet driver, all the work I did. So between me and my wife Veena, so it has to be successful only. The problem comes is when you become slightly successful, that is where you tend to relax. Okay, how to take from that middle successful from 6 salon to that 25 salon is where is the big challenge, and that is where most people lose out. I think that is the space where you should have that energy inside, which should continuously every morning you should get up and say, I want to improve, I want to improve, I want to improve. Because all the basics finance is taken care with the first 6 salon. How are you going to keep your hunger more? I think that is what is going to make that crucial difference. I think for everyone, I think I always used to say that the pressure cooker will work only when there is a pressure. And human being will work only when there is a continuous pressure. If there is no external pressure, create internal pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered one question that I was supposed to ask. Like we all were talking about the challenges that you have faced in your individual fields. Can you name or describe one specific challenge that you faced and how did you overcome?
One specific
Challenge that you faced and how did you overcome that challenge?
challenges are many. First time when I asked for an appointment with a L'Oreal distributor, he said, I will not give. So, life prepares you like that only. It will keep on slapping you. Each slap is a learning. So, first time people said that who are you? Bank said, why are you getting into business? I have got rejected by 54 bankers before they approved the loan. But for me, no means next. It is the next person or a next idea. I have one very favorite, one of my line is SW, 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 SW. It means some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. If we continuously knock the door has to open. Initially, it is to understand the business. It took me 3 years. Every year, loss only. All my friends and well-wishers told that you are not lucky. You don't have a B positive blood group. Your brothers are doing well. Go join. That's a big problem for me because on one side my brothers are doing extremely well. On other side, I am a starter, and in the family only big problem. I said no problem. And to do one salon only, everybody said, why are you doing the salon business? This let Veena do, you don't get into this business. I said, no, I see a good opportunity in this business. If I focus and I work continuously, I can really scale. So it is that thing which is very important is what I feel.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Hadisha has a question. So we are going to wrap up after this because we are on Indian timing today.
Good morning.
Hi, sir.
Vikas sir, Blossom ma'am, SK sir, Seema ma'am. सबसे पहले एक्चुअली मेरी इंग्लिश वीक है, इसके लिए मैं हिंदी में बात करूँ, चलेगा?
हाँ.
ओके. सबसे पहले तो मैं विकास सर का शुक्रिया अदा करना हूँ. जब से ब्यूटी प्रोफेशनल ब्यूटी जब से चालू किया है, तो बहुत सारे ब्यूटिशियन को और हेयर ड्रेसर्स को बहुत कुछ जानने को मिला, इजीली जानने को मिला. और आज भी जब भी एग्जीबिशन होता है तो भीड़ लग जाती है पूरे. आज भी मेरे स्टूडेंट राजकोट और देखा के वहाँ से आ रहे हैं, तो मुझे बड़ी खुशी होती है क्योंकि मुझे इस इंडस्ट्री के अंदर 51 ईयर्स हो गए हैं. मेरी गोल्डन जुबली हो गई है और इस 51 ईयर्स की जर्नी के अंदर मैंने बहुत कुछ देखा है, बहुत सारे उतार चढ़ाव देखे हैं. मैं जब बॉम्बे में आया था सर, हेयर कटिंग की और सेविंग की रेट थी 125, ₹1.25. उस जमाने में मैं बॉम्बे में आया और बहुत स्ट्रगल किया. आज मेरी कटिंग की रेट है ₹2,500. तो यहाँ तक इस जर्नी को पार करते करते बहुत स्ट्रगल किया. 7 ईयर मेरे भाई के पास थे बॉम्बे में, जब मैं 1970 में आया था. और वहाँ से 7 ईयर रहने के बाद में उन्होंने थोड़ा किक डाउन कर दिया. बॉम्बे में बोरीवली में आ गया और वहाँ 25 रुपीज़ में 25 डेज निकाले. जिन्होंने बुलाया था सैलून चालू नहीं हुई थी, लेकिन वो स्ट्रगल के बाद भी धीरे धीरे वहाँ से आगे बढ़ते बढ़ते अभी मेरी 4 सैलून मतलब वहीं पर है. लेकिन मैंने सैलून बनाने से, जैसे सर ने 700 सैलून बनाए हैं और मैंने थाउजेंड्स ऑफ पीपल्स मेरे स्टूडेंट होंगे और थाउजेंड्स ऑफ सेमिनार हो चुके हैं ऑल ओवर इंडिया, आउट ऑफ इंडिया, और सभी जगह पे हुए. तो ये जो स्ट्रगल है और बच्चों को जो सिखाते सिखाते जो मज़ा आता है कि वो बोलते हैं सर आप इतना इजीली कैसे, क्योंकि स्ट्रगल एक ऐसा है कि वहाँ स्ट्रगल करते करते आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है. जब प्रैक्टिकली आपका नॉलेज बढ़ जाएगा तो आप लोगों को बहुत अच्छे से सिखा सकते हैं, बहुत अच्छे से नॉलेज दे सकते हैं, बहुत अच्छे से आपकी ठोकरों का सारा ज्ञान दे सकते हैं. तो ऐसे ही मेरे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट हैं नेशनल इंटरनेशनल लेवल तक. और मुझे आप सभी जानते हैं कि मेरी जो मास्टरी है वो आँख पे पट्टी बांध के कटिंग करना, 1985 में मैंने वो रिसर्च की. दुनिया का पहला इंसान हूँ. मेरा शो ब्लाइंड फोल्ड हेयर कटिंग सर लंदन में हो चुका, दुबई, मॉरिशस, और इंडिया के कोई भी न्यूज़ चैनल या इंडियाज गॉट टैलेंट बोलो, शाबाश इंडिया, बहुत सारे शोज, बहुत सारे टीवी, प्लीज बिलीव इट नॉट। तो यहाँ तक की जर्नी जो मुझे मिली है, और वो आप सब लोगों की दुआ से बहुत प्यार मिला है मुझे सारे हेयर ड्रेसर्स और ब्यूटिशियन से, तो मैं सबका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहूँगा। इतनी सारी सेलिब्रिटी, ब्लॉसम कोचर जी के साथ भी हमने बहुत सारे शो किए और हमेशा बहुत प्यार देते हैं हमें सीमा जी। इनके पास मेरी बहू सीखी और वो भी गोल्ड मेडल लेके आई है फैंटेसी लुक में। तो मेरे बच्चे भी आज उस लेवल पे हैं। श्याम भाटिया, उदय जी, हम लोग साथ में ही हम लोग बहुत सारे सेमिनार करते हैं और किए हैं, और हमें और भी अभी भी ये थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो गया है डॉक्टर की वजह से। हॉस्पिटल में चल के गया और व्हील चेयर में बाहर आया, तो कभी कभी ऐसा हो जाता है, लेकिन अभी भी दौड़ने का और बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट को सिखाने का जिगर रखते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, sir. Um, so we're wrapping up to go to the next session, but even from Halisha's story there, Seema CK Blossom, thank you. Part of the story you want to take away is it may look easy from the outside, and it's very easy to be envious of other people's success, but that is built on a lot of hard work, a lot of struggle, many opportunities to quit, try, run away. But those that do succeed, whatever your definition of success is because you have that courage, craziness to keep going and not letting the world tell you how you should be. You be who you want to be, and you fight for that struggle. And then you know, and COVID's taught us life is too short anyway. So you live the life you want to live, you persevere, you struggle, and you enjoy your happiness. All right. Thank you very much. We're
Yeah,
gonna.
I have one last line, Vikas, to say that for all the hairdressers, we are all here one skill away from super success. Our job is to find that one skill and master that. The most important skill you all need at this point is the Kushbu is here. We all need Instagram. If you master Instagram, you can really make a lot of money.
Very good. Yes. Thank you.
Oh. One question. Last question.
सर आफ्टर सो मच सक्सेस ऑल ऑफ यू, तो डाउन टू अर्थ कैसे रहने का उसका एक टिप दे देना प्लीज। सब लोग इतना सक्सेस होने के बाद में डाउन टू अर्थ कैसे रहने का उसका भी टिप दे देना। आप लोग इतने डाउन टू अर्थ हो। थैंक यू सो मच।
How do I keep down to earth? One thing is, because I know I'm just an ordinary person who just keeps on going, who's got passion, and I just want to just go on every day. That I think that makes a big difference. And other thing is, of course, we have to just live, laugh, love, be happy. That is the main thing. It is not how much of success or anything that you have. That is what is important, really.
The bigger the success, that means more people have contributed for your success. I think we should always be thankful, because minus the team, so many people, I will not be standing here.
When you know that there's so much more to learn, that means you know little. And you can't have an attitude. You have to be down to earth to understand that. That's the only time you can grow. So knowing that I know just that much, and I know how much more I have to learn, that keeps me grounded.
Here you are. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Seema. There is more to learn and grow from this
Hello.
book. Right. You're doing a